Welcome back to Global News Morning. It's that time of week where we catch up with our very good friend Matt Lee. Good morning, Matt. We're looking at Kingston and area real estate stats, but comparing them to what's happening across Canada, and Canadian stats showing a 14-year low.
Yeah, so we get this update from Korea, which is a Canadian Real Estate Association, and they were talking about January 2023 being a 14-year low in sales across Canada. So different places, different markets in regards to percentages, but if they were to look at across the board, we were down the lowest in 14 years. So, we look at this and we kind of want to dissect that a bit to see where we're at in the market and how things are going to fare for the rest of the year.
We'll compare it to across Canada.
So we're going to be down 37.1% in home sales for all of Canada. There are, the East Coast was up. There was a number of people that were actually picking up during this time and moving to the East Coast. The territories are up. But if you look at BC, Ontario, very large populated areas, there was change. We have large cities. Alberta was down, not as much, but it was down. Ontario was hit the hardest. But we're looking at population seems to be a bit of a driver here. So listings are down 1.1% from last year, and then home sales was the big one. And basically, what you're looking at is 18.3% negative compared to January of last year. So those numbers were $749,437 as the average for across Canada last year. So 749, and this year in January it was 612. 204. So basically 612,000 is what today's number is. We're basically the same. We've talked about these numbers in the past. We were up as high as 675. We've been floating around 550 to 570 since July. We've had some ups and downs. There's been some outliers from both sides, but basically we're floating in that number. So I think that we've kind of determined where we're going to be, and we have created a steady market. There's been more houses coming on the market. There's been less sales, so therefore we have this healthy market, and now we're going into spring. So if we're down on listings, and we know that the sales are going to be, people are going to be out looking as soon as spring happens.
Exactly.
Now is the time to be pricing things and get an idea, because that's the first step.
I think we have time to talk about new laws regarding foreign ownership here.
So the foreign ownership was actually cut off. So basically, if I sell a house to somebody that is not a non-resident, there's a $10,000 fine, and then there could be a forced sale by the foreign buyer that bought it if they don't meet the criteria. There is loopholes in regards to if you're coming here for work. There are all of these different things that they have to go through. So I would say if you were looking at buying a house and you have just recently landed, I would say look into the bylaws of what are the laws that they have created. So you want to make sure that that everything's okay.
Hopefully this will eliminate, and I've heard stories of entire floors of condos being bought up and sitting empty.
Yeah, I haven't seen that happen in Kingston. I've heard the stories in regards to through the news of West Coast and GTA, but I haven't seen it personally. But those the laws go in place for a reason.
I'm not taking away a doom and gloom situation here, and I don't think you are saying that.
No, I think that what we're seeing is, a personal opinion, I feel that we've hit kind of that bottom rung where we are. They brought it down to a certain point. We are now going to be coming out of winter and going into spring, which is our busiest market, and we've talked about in the past. There is a prediction that the potential rate will be cut by a quarter point in the third quarter. So that to me looks like a continuation of a positive market. So if we continue in that direction, things are going to be looking good for the rest of the year. I think it's a positive spot to be right now.
Thank you so much, Matt Lee. Be well, take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Real estate tips brought to you by Matt Lee of Royal LePage.